Hello, welcome back to my channel. I felt like my flutter sleeves deserve their moment to shine for at least a brief second. Today's video is going to be this springtime makeup look. If you caught my recent K-Beauty Best of Eye Products video, I mentioned my recent obsession with all things peach, whether it's on my eyes, my lips, my cheeks, or my body. Today, it's all four of those things, but I don't know what it is. For this time of the year, I just feel like corals, peaches, and pinks are just the thing. Something about it just looks extra glowy and healthy on the face. I definitely went the glowy route on my skin per usual. If you'd like to sit down and get ready together, go ahead, grab your makeup bag, grab your mirror, or if you're just sitting down hanging out, grab a snack, and let's go ahead and slap this makeup on my face. I really thought the lawn guy and I settled on Wednesdays to be filming days and he would come on other days, but I guess we're back in a custody battle. Okay, so starting off with my eyes, just for a little bit of eye primer, I'm going in with this Stuck On You primer from the Beauty Crop. Honestly, any eye primer will do. I just wanted to give you a few options just because you never have to use the exact same products that I'm using or that anyone is using in a tutorial. Just kind of work with whatever you have in your collection already. So today I'm going to be using the Shabam Shabam eyeshadow palette. This is from the brand Coringco. This is just a K-Beauty brand. If you are interested in some of my all-time favorite K-Beauty eyeshadows, I did an entire video where I talked all about some of my go-tos, and that's kind of what inspired this video because I mentioned how I've just been so into peaches lately. So if you don't have this, another great option, and I'll probably be dipping into this as well. When this palette first released, it was all I used for months and months and months. I'm pretty sure it was a limited edition, but then they brought it back out, which I was so glad because I definitely needed a new one. I had hit pan on a shade and broke it. This is the ColourPop Sweet Talk palette. In my opinion, this is like the epitome of a spring tone palette. If you're looking for peaches and corals and just beautiful like bright shades, this is perfect. I'm gonna go into this mini palette, taking this peachy coral shade here, getting a little bit on the brush. Where the heck is Yonkers, New York? Yonkers. That just sounds like a city that you have to say with an accent. So after taking that color, if you happen to have the Super Shock Shadow in 6 a.m., this one is so pretty. Unfortunately, it's discontinued. I'm like, ColourPop, why do you keep doing this? This would be a great alternative. This is from the brand Black Rouge. I shared swatches of this in my recent video as well, but oh, isn't that so pretty? All right, so just taking the shadow stick, I am just going to color all over my lid. Once this sets, this is just as long wearing as like the Laura Mercier Caviar sticks. It does not budge. Now you could leave it just like that, but just to add a little bit more shimmer, while it's still a little bit tacky, I'm gonna take a mixture of these two shades here. So one is more of like a soft orange sherbet color, and then the other definitely has more pink to it. But I find when you mix the two, it's the perfect peach. Okay, so I'm just going to lightly dab this right on top. For the last several weeks, I've been using the Milani Weekend Brow as my liquid liner just because I find it to be much more forgiving. I have the shade medium brown and it ended up being way too warm for my brows, but for liner, it's perfect. I've still been loving the Maybelline Sky High. You guys know, or at least if you've been here for a while, you know I love the Essence Lash Princess in waterproof. But since my Sky High has matured, I think it's about a month old now, it's seriously perfect. It's like the best consistency. I have short, although they've been growing. I've been using some lash serum. Oh no, I got a glob right there. Dang it, we'll fix it. I was just talking good about you and now you had to create a clump. We went from like no lashes to some lashes minus that clump. Why'd you have to do that? We were all rooting for you. I did go ahead and pop on some lashes, and to be honest, I already kind of have regrets. I wish I would have just left them as is, but you know, once you put on lashes, there's some like glue residue on your lashes, like your natural lashes, and it just doesn't work out as well, so whatever, we're just gonna go with it. But I still wanted to recommend this set of lashes. If you're someone that likes really wispy sort of lashes, nothing with like a firm, stiff strip, I personally can't wear any strips that aren't invisible anymore. This is from the brand Kiss, which I love their Style 11 lashes. This is called their So Wispy Curated Collection. It's full of their bestsellers. So you have the Ritzy, Pompadour, number 11, number 9, and number 1. Moving on to primer. I grabbed this one mainly because I was like, oh, I'm doing like a peachy look and this is peach and it's called Peach C, but it's actually not one of my favorite. I was thinking faves and favorite. It's not one of my absolute favorites. It just kind of gives, It's still pretty, but it just feels more like a iridescent moisturizer. Let me go ahead and show ya what it looks like. I like the way that it actually feels on the skin, but I have other primers that I prefer more if I'm wanting like a really glowy base. So it is glowy, it's just more of like a pearlescent slash iridescent type of finish. Like I said, it still feels very refreshing and moisturizing on the face, but lately I've just been so into using this as a glowy base primer, or even my Wet n Wild Glass Correct primer. So any of those, you know what, I think I'm still gonna apply a little bit of this because I just love this so much. If you are curious, I use the shade Pyrite, and I just take, I mean, the tiniest bit, not even a full pump, just a tiny bit like that. And let's just add a little bit more of that just right here onto my cheekbones. I typically apply this both underneath and on top of makeup just because I think the glow is beautiful. If you follow me over on Instagram stories, you know I have been doing mini reviews of drugstore tinted moisturizers, and I really enjoy this one. It's from Makeup Revolution, and this is from their Super Dewy line. It's their Skin Tint Tinted Moisturizer. I have mine in medium light, but I do still just want to add a tiny bit more coverage to it. So the combination that I've been loving to mix with this is actually from Wet n Wild. This is just their Photo Focus Dewy foundation. And the brush that I've been loving lately, I actually got this with my Merit Beauty foundation. If you guys have been curious about Merit Beauty, I did an entire review reviewing 6 of their 7 products. And I've actually really been enjoying this brush. Also, if you guys are curious about my earrings, these are launching with the Miranda Fry Spring collection. It hasn't come out yet, at least not while I'm filming this video, but there's some good pieces in the launch. Okay, and then just bringing it down my neck. So obviously if I would have just gone in with the Wet n Wild on its own, I feel like I would have gotten more coverage, but I just added a tiny bit with that Revolution Tinted Moisturizer, and I just feel like it's a perfect amount of coverage, ideal just for every day. For my concealer, I'm going to go in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect. I grabbed mine in the shade Light Natural. I know this has been out for forever, but for whatever reason, it just took me forever to try, and I actually really like it. I'm just going to go in with the same brush again and just press some of that right there. I did try I think the foundation in the line was also called Conceal and Perfect. I did not like that foundation at all, but I've really been enjoying the concealer. I don't feel the need to go in and set it right away. I mean, any concealer on me creases, but I feel like with this one, it's a little bit, not thick, but it dries down quicker than some of my other concealers, so I just noticed it doesn't get quite as creasy and crepey on my under eyes. This is one of the Jouer Essential High Coverage Concealer Pens. I'm using the shade Cafe au Lait. So I'm just gonna use this first, and then we'll go in with a little bit of a powder on top. Then just going in with one of my Real Techniques brushes. We will just blend that into the hairline. If you are really dry, you could just leave it with a cream contour or cream bronzer, but I do just want to go in with a little bit of additional bronze. So I'm using the Nabla Skin Glazing Bronzer. This one is in the shade Dune. Pretty sure this is like an old Japanese brush. I'm just going to sweep some of that across my forehead. I really like these skin glazing powders because they're super light on the skin. I feel like the name is perfect. You never really see the actual buildup of the powder on your face. It's like you somehow get more of a tint or a color, but your skin still shows through. So it never just looks like you have caked on bronzer because you are still able to see freckles and just skin underneath. So it just stays looking nice and fresh. The blushes in this collection are also really pretty, but Dune is definitely one of my most used skin glazing powders. This is a combo I rave about all the time, but whenever I do this peach eye look, this is my favorite blush because I just feel like it just ties everything together. So first going in with one of the Naming Cream blushes. These go in and out of stock on YesStyle. If it is in stock today, get it. If you love cream blushes, you love blush shades similar to myself, you will love this one. This is the ColourPop F14. I'm just gonna go in and dip. That looks so messy. And then I always like to put any excess onto the back of my hand. And then I will just sweep this, well, I guess stipple this right across my cheeks. And I could leave it there, but this blush on top of the naming blush is just perfection. This is from the brand Karadium. It's from their Bling Fit line. I have mine in the shade Salmon Dia. This is almost like a prismatic type of powder. It's so, so beautiful. It's like a blush and highlighter in one. And this on top of this cream blush, it's like they were made for each other. They really should be sold together. Do you see how glowy that is? I just love it. I think it's so cute. This has been in a monthly favorites before. It's one of the Too Faced Killer Liners. This one is in the shade Killer Gingerbread. These are so creamy and pigmented. So I'm gonna line my waterline and just drag some of it down. That way I can really smudge it out. Pigmentation of these, unreal. There's a really pretty kind of olive shade in the lineup as well that I really enjoy using. Now I'm just going back into that very first peach shade that we used all over. Smudge the liner out with this shadow. This is where I kind of interchange. Sometimes I keep it more nude. Sometimes I try to match it all together and go with something soft, peachy, and coral. For today, I think I'm gonna go that route. No matter what though, I always like to do something glossy just because my skin looks so glowy. I just feel like it looks weird if I go in with something really matte. So I'm still gonna go in with something glossy on the lips. For that, I'm using one of the Revlon Super Lustrous, I think these are like Super Lustrous Lipstick Balm. This is basically like their reintroduced lip butters. Slightly different, but still pretty similar. This one is in the shade Glaring Coral. I'm not gonna go in with any sort of lip liner just because with this formula, it's something that's very glossy. So even if you go outside of the lip lines, it doesn't look crazy. And the color is just so pretty. Since it's so juicy on its own, you really don't have to top it off with anything unless you just want your lips to be like ultra glossy. There's one product that I highly recommend from this video. This combination, if you are just looking for the perfect springtime, ultra dewy, glowy, plump, juicy blush combo, please, please try this combination. It is stunning. Okay, I'm done talking. Thanks for hanging out. If you haven't already, I would love if you subscribed. Let me know what other videos you guys would like to see this week. And that's pretty much it. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.